Hi everybody, welcome back to Shotla Family Firewood. Um, it's been a busy week around here, but I have not recorded a whole lot of it. But it's Saturday now. I got a little more available time, so let me tell you about it. Alright, so we've had the truck hooked up to the trailer. We had that big load of boiler wood on here. Well, we had to unload that. I actually sold it to somebody that I wasn't expecting, and they are taking it up north, but they don't want it for another week or so. So I dumped that on the ground, and then I had to deliver a third of a cord of oak this week, and normally I probably wouldn't put that on the trailer, but I had an opportunity to go get some already cut up wood that'll be good boiler wood. So I loaded that third of a cord in the trailer, dumped that off in the driveway, and then I went and picked this up. So this is a lot of storm damage walnut, and then some other stuff, and then a real big, that chunk on top there, that's a real big chunk of ash cut off a stump before they ground it. So yeah, anyway, we're gonna dump this out. We're just gonna dump it by this boiler shed here, boiler wood shed. There's some pieces that I'd like to split up, some pieces that I don't, and I think with these two real big chunks, I don't want them falling down on the door. So we're just gonna dump it on the ground, and we got a couple other big chunks to split up here, so we'll just sort through it, throw it in the shed what's ready, and then we'll split what needs splitting. So let's dump this trailer. Let me show you now, though, what else happened this week. Guys, check out this firewood delivery. One piece of cherry right there, and the rest of it is oak. And look how big this stuff is. This is 2 semi-loads from a farmer in the area. He didn't want this big oak tree to go to waste. Look at how big this one is. That's a 16-ounce beer. That's crazy. But we're gonna get busy moving this stuff out of the way because it's right in the driveway here, because the yard was a little muddy. So that is pretty awesome. All right, so we got that delivery, and then that was right here. I spent last night out here. I moved everything around. So here's our oak that came in. There's 1 stick of cherry, 1 stick of hickory, and then there's this massive part of that oak tree. And then on top of that, I had somebody did come and look at these logs for milling. I got an offer for, oh, he's probably not going to want that, is he? I did get an offer. First time I realized there's wire in that ash log. But I did get an offer on the walnut logs, and he seemed fairly interested in that big piece of oak. So we'll do something with that too. And then I had to reload the firewood stand last night. I had 3 loose stacks sold in the last week. So that's about a 1/6 of a cord, roughly, give or take. Each stack in the firewood stand, the loose stacks in the back end, are 1/24 of a cord, or 1/6 of a face cord. So we had to fill 3 of those. And then because I need the trailer tomorrow, We might not do a whole lot of splitting, but because I got that other pile dumped on the ground over here by the skid loader, maybe I'll just run some more on the ground anyway. I got the grapple on. I was contemplating trying to put this in my boiler bin and just splitting more for when they want it. Haven't exactly decided on that yet. So right now, that's where it's at. And yeah, so we'll see. But I can't load the trailer, so I gotta come up with something else. I do have a couple of IBC cages for boiler wood that I could fill up, I suppose. So we'll see. But then we just cleaned the pig pen out. So yeah, that's what we've been up to this week. Things are looking pretty good in the wood yard. We got a couple more empty baskets, so time to fill. And it's a good thing I got oak, because I wanted to put oak in those baskets anyway, so that'll work out nice. So and then we also have all this stuff we gotta split up yet. So I got plenty of work to do. All right, we got a few minutes here, and I got these baskets set up underneath the conveyor, and we're gonna uncover this Wolf Ridge 28 Pro C and get to work on more of this boiler wood. And yeah, pile's getting smaller. All right, that's gonna be about it. 2 baskets of boiler wood is really about all we're gonna have time for today. I gotta go get ready for my parents' anniversary party, and yeah, we made a fairly decent dent in what was left here. So next, we definitely got to do some cutting before we get too excited about doing much more splitting. So there's a few more logs in the middle here that will get cut up and try and get this mess contained, cleaned up, finished up before too much longer.